Good morning, Ian Aaron. Hope you're all well. This morning, I'm just going to speak to you a little bit about the start of chapter 10 in your books. This is on equations, and it's found on page 186 to 187 of your Caboodle textbook. And it's book 3A if you go to the Caboodle site. So this chapter deals with equations. The first exercise is on equality and inequality. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk about the major points, learning points to note in this, and I'm going to do a few examples, just one example from each number, so you can understand where to go. So to begin with, I've got two expressions, and sometimes I need to compare them. I need to say if they're equal to each other, or maybe one's bigger than the other, or larger than the other, or smaller than the other. So if I work out the left hand side and the right hand side, that enables me to compare them. So if I take these first two expressions, I've got 6 times 3 and 8 times 10. So on the left, 6 times 3, that would give me 18, so I can write 18 there underneath. And on the right, I've also got 8 and 10, which is also 18. So I can see that the left-hand side is the same as the right-hand side. So I can join these two expressions together with an equal sign here in the middle. So this is an equality or an equation because both sides are equal to each other. Now looking at the second example underneath, I've got 4 times 2 on the left and 5 add 6 on the right. So again, let's start off by working out the value of each side. So on the left I have 4 times 2, which would give me 8, and on the right hand side I would have 5 add 6, which this time is 11. So now this time I can see that the left hand side and the right hand side, they're not the same as each other, and sometimes I have to say which one is larger. So here I had an equal sign, so I could also join these together, not with an equal sign but with a not equal to sign. I can see that 8 is not equal to the 11, equal to 11, sorry. The left hand side is not the same as the right hand side. Sometimes, as I've just mentioned, you have to say which one is larger. So out of these two numbers, the 11 is larger than my 8. So I can write on the right hand side, just here or underneath, I can write 8 and 11 again. And I can say that 11 is larger than 8, and what I can do is use a sign there. Remember, the sign points towards the larger number, so 11 is larger than 8. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to do an example from numbers 1 to 4. They're very similar to the ones you can see in the book on page 186 to 187. So I've done one example from each number, and I'll just talk through what you have to do for each question. So for number 1, we just have to say if these two expressions are equal to each other. So I've got 30 take away 6. Again, so we're going to work out the left and the right. We all start off these questions in a similar way. 30 take away 6 is 24. And on the right hand side I've got 11 times 2, that gives me 22. So I can write 22. So I can see that the left hand side is not the same as the right hand side, so it's not an equals to sign, it's not an equation, so I could write there not equal to. So I've shown that the left hand side is not the same as the right hand side. For number 2, here I've got a balance, or like a seesaw, and I've got to say again if the left hand side is balanced with the right hand side. So starting off working out what each side is, on the left hand side I've got a 12 add 10, so 12 add 10, that gives me 22. And on the right hand side I've got 7, 7, 7, 3 sevens, add them all up, or do 7 times 3, that'll give me 21. So I can see that the left hand side is not the same as the right hand side, so they wouldn't be balanced. So not balanced, and in fact the left hand side is slightly heavier than the right hand side, so the seesaw would go down this way, so not balanced. So there's an example from number 2. Number 3 asks me about true and false, so I have to work out the left hand side and the right hand side using the inequality, so the bigger than or less than sign, and say if the statement is true or false. So what we're going to do here, we've got 8 times 5 on the left. 8 times 5 is 40, so 40, and on the right hand side I've got 84 divided by 2, so half of 84, and that is 42. So going back to the original question, it said that 40 is larger than 42, or it said 8 times 5 is larger than 84 times 2. So if I was writing an inequality here, remember it would point towards the largest number, so it would be this way round, so this would indeed be false. Okay, 42 is larger than 40 in this case here, or 40 is not larger than 42. For the last one, which is number 4, all I've got to do here is fill out the missing box, which will lead into the next section on solving equations in a little bit more detail. So on the left hand side I've got 24 plus 6, I've got 30 here. On the right hand side I've got 10 times something. I'm trying to work out what this box is. This box could be on the right or it could be on the left. In this case obviously it's on the right. So I've worked out the side that I can, that gives me 30. All I've got to do now is work out what the missing box is, so I've got 10 times that box. So I need to work out what missing number is in the box. So I'm saying to myself 10 times something gives me 30, and the answer should be 3. So all I've done there, 10 times something is 30. I've divided 30 by 10 to get 3. So this is the first exercise you need on equality and inequality, and again it can be found on page 186 to 187 of your online Caboodle book, which is book 3A. If there are any problems, please let me know or drop me an email. Thank you.